me today is my girlfriend. Okay, my wife, Florence Ijoma. Please stand up. Our firstborn, Ephraim Chinedu Ojiambo. He's acting holy, eh? Okay. Then there's our daughter here, Amara Chuku, Odilia. Then Neria Chamaka Ojiambo is also here. Say hello. Thank you so much. We love you so much. We talk about the Zawadi program in our home. My wife keeps on telling the kids, when you sharpen up and shape up, you are going to be a Zawadi girl. So they have something to look forward for. Thank you for being an inspiration. Thank you, Eva.
Thank you. Perhaps our distinguished guests and our sponsors and our visitors tonight, the last 2 days have been nothing short of transformational. We've spent 2 days with girls drawn from Uganda, drawn from Ghana, drawn from South Africa in some way, isn't it? Yeah. And of course Kenya. And when we began our program, there was a lot of anxiety. You know, we weren't sure, oh, I've landed myself a scholarship. What does it mean? How will I leave my family and the rest of it? But I think that from what I gathered at 6 p.m. this evening, are we ready? Yes. Are we ready? Are we ready? Yes. So we've learned everything. We've learned the purpose of Zawadi. We've learned paying it forward. We've learned that we need to focus on the huge responsibility that has been given us courtesy of the scholarships that each girl has earned meritoriously. We've learned fellowship, we've learned sisterhood, we've learned patriotism, and we've learned that the solutions for our respective countries and this continent, we are holding. We are interfacing with the solutions through the scholarship program. And maybe just very, very quickly, to refresh us, yes, it's capable. Capability is good for us. That we want stars, academic stars. We want girls who will want to recognize that it is not enough to gain the first degree, that I must look for another professional qualification, that I might perhaps need to gain an MBA or a master's and go the full length, if that is how the solution for the socioeconomic disparities will be realized. We also said something else. We said that we are only going to invest who have what? Strong character. Strong character. So they realize that this is not something to play around with, that this is a scholarship that must reflect the very, very best in terms of value system. Personal, and hopefully what we will then come and pass on to our respective communities as we engage, societies and nations. Character for us is a big one. We also said that we're looking for women who have got the right commitment. Commitment means realizing that I must stay as a curve spoiler. I'll be the reason they don't like me in class because I set the A right at the top, okay? Commitment to the pledges that I make, because this program carries with it huge responsibility. Commitment also to what Kenya stands for, Uganda stands for, Ghana stands for, South Africa stands for, indeed Africa. Committed, and we heard yesterday, girls sharing dreams. I want to be this and I want to be the other. I want to come and revolutionize the maternal health care. I want to build the tallest, own the tallest? Own the tallest. Somebody said own the tallest building in Kenya. The rest of it. Dreams were shared here, and we have amazing role models who we know have dreamed before us, like President Obama, and indeed the founders of our program in the 50s. So commitment was a big one. And finally, we talked about solutions for this continent must be imbued around the value of compassion. And we also said that as women, compassion comes a little easier for us. That we can only address Africa with a heart and with a mindset that is engulfed with compassion. Compassion, because the issues that we deal with on our continent are grave issues. But there are issues that are preventable, isn't it? Yeah. We talked about disease, and many of the diseases that are plaguing us are what? Are preventable, isn't it? Yeah. Can you prevent corruption? Yes. Hello? Yes. Why are you not sounding sure? I thought we were very, very sure. Okay? So these were the 5 anchoring values that we said the scholarship can only go if we can tick against this. Not on the first day, not on the second month, but throughout the duration of our scholarship, and indeed, paying it forward. And we said to the girls...
to be here in front of all these brilliant young ladies, and the discussion about getting Rosemary to come and talk to you started somewhere in Lagos about a month ago. Rosemary happens to be a classmate of mine, a good friend and a classmate, in a program we are doing through Strathmore University. So I was just lamenting to her about some of the things we're doing with promoting girl-child education in Kenya, and just wanted to find out from her whether she'd be interested in sharing some of our experiences with yourselves. Few little things which are picked up over the last couple of years. I think we met about 3-4 years ago, and just picked up a few things about her experience through her life. She's fairly young and rated as one of the people in this country, ladies particularly, who is probably going to do extremely well. From a management perspective. I believe that she'll probably run some very, very big companies before too long. And I thought she could share with yourself some of the experiences of what she has done to get her to this point. She also happens to be one of the few people who went to university at a very, very young age. I think she went to university at an age of 17 years old and did everything herself, and only presented things to her father about what she'd been able to achieve to get herself to university in the US. Having gone to university in the US, she also excelled from a business and management perspective, but took the decision to come back to Kenya and to give something back to her country. She didn't have to come back. I'm sure she would have done well wherever she was, but she chose to come back. And I thought it was a fairly fascinating journey, which would be useful to share with yourselves, so that you actually see it in action, that it is possible to be able to achieve something positive, to make something out of yourself, to basically turn every opportunity which comes your way into something meaningful. So I'm glad that when I requested her to come and talk to you, she actually agreed. I convinced Rose, who I know had a long list of speakers, to ensure that Rosemary was given a chance to talk to yourselves. I did invite her to talk to mentor the group of girls who are going through university in Kenya, and to just begin sharing with them some of our experiences, and also to ensure that they have somebody they can actually talk to who has got day-to-day commercial experience, who is going through some of the challenges of climbing through the corporate ladder. So Rosemary, I'm glad that you are able to come. Please talk to the girls after you finish. I'd then like to invite Francis to, I think, crown it all, because I think I've known Francis since I was a kid. And we've always, as young people, admired his achievements, and I'm sure that what you say and what Francis says is going to be a fantastic opportunity for you girls to just realize that you can dare to.
I'm actually quite humbled to be here, because You all represent the future of Kenya. It's right here in this room. All of you fantastic stars. And just so I can get to know you, just tell me your name, what university you're going to, and what state you are. We'll just go really, really fast so I can just hear. And then just tell me what degree you want to have and what your dreams are. In 1 minute, Eva, I promise. It won't take too long.
That's okay.
Asimwe, I'm currently studying at the University of Cape Town. I'm pursuing a degree in electrical and computer engineering.
In your second year?
Yes. Hello, I'm Teresa Lime. I'm in Kamikuma University of Science and Technology in Ghana. I'm doing electrical and electronic engineering. I'm in my 4th year.
Congratulations. 7 years ago, this lady was in Kisumu. She had a father who was a very important man then. He had many cows. And back then, a man's wealth was determined by the number of wives he had. And because he had many cows, of course, he had butcheries and little shops. And so he'd marry and marry just to keep them to manage those shops for him. That was my grandfather. He married 10 wives. He had 10 wives. My mother's mother was number 2, and he married 2 sisters, so her and her younger sister as well. And back in the day, I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, Professor here, but they didn't believe in taking girls to school. Girls were to get married and to go away, educate your boys. So my grandfather had, from my mother's mother, 5 girls and 2 boys. He says, you know what? My friends are laughing at me, but you know what? I'm going to take all my girls to school. Mom was the second born. Her first born died. But she was the first girl, and she went to school. But how did she go to school? In the morning, she'd wake up. They'd go out there, and they'd do some harvesting. And then they'd walk kilometers away to school without any shoes. And her father said, I'm going to make sure you go through school and you're going to pass and do really well. And Mom struggled. She walked to school. She did really well. Was in the top of her class, went to Butere Girls. At that time now, options are here now. Where is the money going to take her to go to high school? To secondary school. And beyond that to college. But her father said, you know what, I'm going to invest in all my girls. Because you know what, when you educate a woman, you educate a community. So I was mentioning to Maureen that at one point, my mom was privileged to work under her father. And he was her mentor. And actually, I'm feeling like this is just deja vu. I'm now here and working with the Zawadi program. And Mom actually speaks so highly of your father and father-in-law. And he helped her get to the UK, where she did her undergraduate in nursing. She became a nurse. And then she did her master's in nursing and became a nurse tutor. And then met this man who came to her with options, because she was very beautiful, very figure 8, you know, she was on top of the world, bright girl. At that time, she was the star, just like you all are. And so this man came to her, and she had many offers, many men coming to her offer their hand in marriage to her, and she said, next. So this man walks up to her, and he's a Kisi. And at that time, you know, people like to marry within the same community. But her father told her, you know what, if you like this man, it's okay. And why she chose him is because he came in one hand with the Bible, and the other hand he had a degree. He was a doctor. So you can imagine the chemistry there. So they met in the UK. They came back to Kenya. Dad opened a hospital. I think it was called Masaba Hospital. Then now it's now moved on. They're now retired. But he was a doctor at Masaba Hospital, and he had 5 girls and 2 boys. And I'm the 5th in that long chain. And again, Father at that point was thinking, hey, I have many girls here. My brothers are not having the girls go to school, but you know what? I'm going to invest in my daughters. So all of you, you know, whatever you want, the sky's the limit. And Mom would tell us, girls, I've come a long way. If I made it in my time, even you can make it in your time. So we were given all the tools, and the tools were go to school, work hard. And we did. All 5 girls went to school. All 5 girls have degrees. Now, one of these fine girls was yours truly. I went to primary school, and for me, naturally, I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to be a doctor. That was my dream. You know, I wanted to be a doctor. That's what I wanted to do. I went to a school called Milimani Primary School, and at that time, it was formed right because there was a school called Kilimani. It became too full. And so they're thinking, we can't have enough room here. Let's open Kilimani 2 opposite the school. And so I was the first lot. I was the first standard 1, the first standard 2. And along the way, each year I would excel and I would excel. By the time I came to standard 7, I was the head girl again in my school. I was a brownie.